Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Laird has joined Swansea on loan until the end of the season. He's going to gain more experience, so it's the right decision to put him out on loan. Plus he's going to get his opportunities. Last season, Laird had a loan spell with MK Dons. Laird has been at Man United since the age of 10, and he's featured twice for the first team. We have loaned quite a few players out. The other week we loaned Axel Tuanzebe out to Aston Villa until June 2022. It's Tuanzebe's third loan spell with Aston Villa. Just before his loan move was confirmed, Man United give Axel Tuanzebe a new contract until June 2023. There's also an option of a further year. Tuanzebe is going to get a lot of opportunities at Aston Villa, plus he's going to gain more experience. Earlier on in the window, we loaned Tahith Chong out to Birmingham. Looks like Amad Diallo is going out on loan. He hasn't really played for Man United. We got Amad Diallo from Atlanta back in January. We got him in a deal worth £37 million. We paid like £19 million up front. Last season we loaned Diego Dalot out. He was at AC Milan. Obviously now he's back at Man United. We loaned Andres Pereira out. He had a loan spell with Lazio. We also loaned Tiden Mengi out back in January. He was at Derby. We also loaned Lingard out last season. He enjoyed a 4-month loan spell with West Ham and he made an impact. And not so long ago we loaned Facundo Pellistri out again. We loaned him out back in January. Now on my last video I gave you the news on Paul Pogba. The Independent have said that PSG are prepared to offer Paul Pogba a £510,000 a week contract to prize him away from Man United. PSG getting Pogba this summer hit a stumbling block because PSG got Lionel Messi. But it recently said that Pogba is set to join PSG on a free at the end of the season. Sky Sports said that Pogba is very likely to leave Man United on a free next summer when his current contract expires. Pogba's preference is a move to Real Madrid or Barcelona. Solskjaer said prior to the Leeds game that he's relaxed over media magnate Pogba. Pogba is expected to stay at Manchester United for this season. I hope we get him a new contract. Before the start of the season, Pogba rejected a new contract at Man United. Sky Sports came out and said that Pogba is increasingly unlikely to sign a new Man United contract. Solskjaer said though that Man United remain in talks with Pogba's representatives over a new contract. Before the start of the season, Solskjaer revealed that he had positive talks with Pogba over his future. And it said Pogba was in no hurry to sort out his future. And the Telegraph said before the start of the season, this was before Messi to PSG was official, that Pogba would start the season with Man United, then he'd make a decision about his future before the 31st of August. Not so long ago, Sky Sports said that Pogba sees a long-term future at Man United but may wait on the contract extension. Pogba put a fantastic performance out against Leeds at the weekend, obviously got 4 assists. Should have got his name on the score sheet because he had a fantastic chance. He was one-on-one with Mejele, put it wide. Pogba produced good performances for Man United in the last couple of months of last season. But at one point last season, he was out with a thigh injury for a while. And he sustained some ankle injuries at Man United. Mino Raiola has been working hard to get Pogba out of the football club. He did a lot of talking last season. We're critical of Mino Raiola. Mino Raiola doesn't have a good relationship with Man United. This is Pogba's 6th season at Man United since he rejoined. He's won 3 trophies at the club so far, and we paid £89 million for him, so reflecting on that, he's our most expensive signing at the moment. We had Pogba when he was a lot younger under the Sir Alex Ferguson era, but we had to let him go due to limited appearances. Solskjaer has confirmed that he wants to make one more signing in this summer transfer window. But who's it going to be? Solskjaer's priority is to get a midfielder on the board. I recently give you the news on Eduardo Camavinga. Man United have paused the pursuit of Camavinga at the moment. Eduardo Camavinga's agent said that Camavinga is in no rush to decide his future. The Sun recently said that Man United are in a 2-horse Eduardo Camavinga race with PSG as Rennes set a fee of 34 million. Fabrizio Romano's spoken a lot about the Camavinga transfer saga. He recently said that Camavinga has 2 options this summer, including Man United, as his contract showdown continues with Rennes. His current contract at Rennes expires next year. But Man United believe that Eduardo Camavinga wants to make a move to Spain or PSG. Well, Camavinga's agent said the other week that he's pushing him towards Man United, but the player's preference is PSG. Not so long ago, the Rennes sporting director and the head coach of Rennes said that Camavinga will be leaving Rennes this summer. He's made 82 appearances for Rennes in all competitions. He said not so long ago though that we abandoned our pursuits of 4 signings. That's Camavinga, Saul Niguez, Ruben Neves and Kieran Trippier. As you all know, before the Leeds game, Raphael Varane was official. You know, we got Raphael Varane for £34 million. Obviously add-ons were included in the deal. Varane signed a 4-year contract with Man United. There's an option of a further year. Raphael Varane is wearing that number 19 shirt, which was a Mad Dialo's shirt. Not so long ago though, the Raphael Varane announcement did get delayed due to image rights. Obviously Varane had to quarantine in Manchester, and last week he did complete his medical. I'm expecting Varane to make his debut against Southampton on Sunday. You know, Varane is our third signing of this summer transfer window. Now, before the start of the season, Solskjaer spoke out on Man United's transfer plans before deadline. He said any more signings would be a bonus for Manchester United as we approach the final 3 weeks of the summer transfer window. But Man United are enjoying a very good summer transfer window, because, you know, Solskjaer's getting the players he wants to recommend in. And plus he's getting the backing he deserves. Surprisingly, our owners, the Glazers, are backing him. Obviously the Glazers have been one of the biggest issues at the club for a long time, because they have put us in so much debt. You know, the Glazers have been at Man United for 16 years. They purchased the club for 500 million back in 2005. But they're only backing him through persuasion, because towards the end of last season, a lot of United fans protested against the Glazers at Old Trafford, because the Glazers were planning to scrap the Champions League for that European Super League. Solskjaer did reveal that the Glazers apologised, and towards the end of last season it said the Glazers could have been forced to sell Man United, but for only £4 billion. Joe Glazer attended a fans forum on the 4th of June, which was earlier on this year, and he did promise Man United supporters that Solskjaer would get the funds that are available. Woodward has said several times before that I'd back Solskjaer, and he assured that Solskjaer's job was safe, even when we was enduring them really bad periods. So Woodward stood by him. Obviously we know Woodward's leaving Man United. John Murtaugh has played a part in getting Solskjaer the signings that he wanted. John Murtaugh is our director of football. Man United certainly made the right decision getting a director of football in, because I did mention that's one of the structural changes that we needed at the club. Obviously Matt Judge is part of the club, and Darren Fletcher is part of the club, and he's played a part as well, because obviously, you know, he's had a few meetings before, obviously, to discuss our transfer plans. This has been Solskjaer's, 5th transfer window as permanent Man United manager. But Solskjaer even said, you know, he's been pleased with our summer transfer business. Man United now, though, have to sell some players to get more signings on the board. But you know, now Man United have got a very, very good squad. You know, with the signings of Varane and Sancho, it was still a decent squad before they came in. I certainly think we are title contenders this season with Sancho and Varane. You know, to be honest with you, I think we've got a good chance of winning the Premier League this season. You know, that's Solskjaer's ambition for this season, to win the Premier League. We haven't won the Premier League since 2013, which is 8 years ago. Before the start of the season, Solskjaer talked up Man United's title hopes. He did say he knows the pressure is on, and he made an admission saying that Man City are the favourites, but the title race is open. But Solskjaer definitely has to win a trophy this season. You know, he's not yet won a trophy as Man United manager, and we haven't won a trophy since 2017. You know, Solskjaer is aware that he's got big expectations to exceed. But, you know, we've got Tom Heaton, obviously brought him in as a backup, decent goalkeeper. To his credit, did very well throughout pre-season. You know, he looked very vocal. got Tom Heaton on a free transfer from Aston Villa. He signed a contract with Man United until 2023. There's an option of a further year. You know, you got Raphael Varane, regarded as one of the best centre-halves in the world, and like I've said before, Varane is going to exceed expectations in the Premier League. And what a fantastic centre-back partnership that is, Varane and Harry Maguire. You know, you've got Jadon Sancho, who's a very good player. Recently came on and made his debut against Leeds. Sancho will do well, providing that Solskjaer uses him right. Sancho's debut was actually in doubt before the game against Leeds, because Solskjaer came out and said that Sancho was feeling a little sick, and he said he'd only been able to complete one full training session as a Man United player. We got Sancho in a deal worth £78 million. He's under contract with Man United until June 2026. There's an option of a further year. You know, you got Dean Henderson, very good goalkeeper. Did well in a lot of the games he was in goal for last season. And Dean Henderson's got that experience behind him because he endured 2 successful loans with Sheffield. He's also had other loan spells before. Before the start of last season, Henderson signed a 6-year contract with the club, so reflecting on that, he committed his future to Man United. Henderson's obviously unavailable at the moment as he's recovering from COVID. You know, I still highly rate De Gea, despite him making a lot of mistakes in the last couple of years. De Gea is going to remain at Man United for this season. De Gea has been a long servant at the club. He's endured 10 years at Man United. This is now 11th season. De Gea has had, 8 good years out of the 10 years he's been with us. A few years ago, he was regarded as the best goalkeeper in the world, because De Gea has won everything domestically at the football club, and he's made over 500 appearances for Man United in all competitions. And yeah, De Gea receives £375,000 a week. I think he's got 2 years left on his current contract. You know, we got Luke Shaw, very, very good left back. Luke Shaw is going to enjoy a good season. He was very good last season. Last season he was our best player. In fact, he was the best left back in the Premier League. Luke Shaw's been our first choice left back for a while. It still remains our first choice left back despite the arrival of Tellez last year. Shaw's been at Man United for 7 years, so he's been a long-serving player. And I think he's had a good career at Man United despite the injuries he has sustained. Played well against Leeds at the weekend, showed very good attacking intent. Got into good positions. He was good in the attacking third of the pitch and had a good chance in the game. He hit the side net and did, Luke Shaw, though, unfortunately. You know, you've got Harry Maguire, decent centre-half. He did well against Leeds, Maguire. You know, he made some vital interceptions, got forward quite well. We're going to get the best out of him now, though, with Varane alongside him. Maguire was a big miss for us towards the end of last season because he had ligament damage in his ankle. We overpaid for Maguire. We got him in a deal worth £80 million from Leicester, so he's the most expensive centre-half in the world at the moment and the second most expensive signing at the club. I think Eric Bailly, you know, he's a decent centre-half as well. But my element of concern about him is injury prone, so he's a liability, isn't he? Towards the end of last season, Bailly signed a new contract with Man United till 2024. There's an option of a further year. Bailly's future is obviously in doubt following the arrival of Raphael Varane. But like I say, I would keep Bailly as a backup. So if Varane or Harry Maguire get injured, he's the plan B. Obviously Lindelof's a backup as well, but like I said to you before, I certainly prefer Bailly to Victor Lindelof. We got Bailly for £30 million from Villarreal back in 2016, so he's been with us a good 5 year or so now. And Wan-Bissaka, very, very good right back. One of the best right backs we've had since Gary Neville. Defensively, Wan-Bissaka has always been superb. He has got to show more attacking intent though. This is Bissaka's third full season. This is a big season for Bissaka. Got him for 50 million from Crystal Palace back in the summer of 2019. Paul Pogba, very, very good. You know, I hope, like I said earlier on, I hope we can get him a new contract because he's an imperative player. I'd be very disappointed to see him go on a free next summer, to be honest with you, because, you know, we could have cashed in for him this summer. McTominay, he's a decent player as well. I think he's going to enjoy a good season. He had some good games last season. He needs more time at the club. McTominay's been part of the club for a long time as it stands. Just after the first lockdown last year, McTominay signed a 5-year contract. So reflecting on that, he committed his future to the club. Fred, he can be good when he wants to be. Obviously scored at the weekend against Leeds. Put a good second half performance out. But I do have my reservations about Fred. I don't think he's got a long-term future at Man United from now. We got Fred in a deal worth 52 million from Shakhtar Donetsk, so we did overpay for him. I think Donny van de Beek's also good. But I haven't really had much of a perception on him so far at Man United because last season most of Van der Beek's appearances come from the bench. I recall Van der Beek just starting 4 games in the league last season. Van der Beek didn't play any part against Leeds. He did play in the final pre-season game against Everton and Van der Beek put a very good performance out. You know, his movement was good and he was very tenacious in his play. I'm expecting Van der Beek to get a lot more starts this season than he did do last season. This is Van der Beek's second full season at Man United. We got him in a deal worth 40 million from Ajax. He's under contract with Man United till 2025 and he's versatile. He can play in 3 different roles. I think at Ajax he was predominantly a box-to-box midfielder. Bruno Fernandez, world-class player. He's one of our best players and he's one of the best signings we have made since Ferguson retired. Obviously, Fernandez on Saturday got his first hat-trick for Man United. You know, in most of Bruno Fernandez's games he's been very, very consistent, but there's also been quite a few games where he's looked off the pace. Fernandez has been at Man United now over a year and a half. You know, last season he won Player of the Year and he's won Player of the Month quite a few times, reflecting on his good performances. Fernandez has got a contract with Man United till 2025. There's an option of a further 12 months. Before the start of the season, Romano came out and said that Man United are looking at a new contract for Bruno Fernandez. Towards the end of last season, he said we were willing to offer Bruno Fernandez £200,000 a week, so we was willing to double his wages. Take this off charge. So yeah, Mason Greenwood, he's been an absolute revelation. Since he broke into our senior squad. At one point though he did go a long period without scoring. Greenwood made his senior debut in 2019. He's been a United player since the age of 7 and last season he signed a new 4-year contract. Greenwood scored against Leeds at the weekend. Should have had a couple of other goals because he had 2 good early chances. One came from a mistake from Leeds. Solskjaer come out and said Mason Greenwood has turned into the top man now. He's got a long-term future at Man United. He really, really has. I think you get the best out of Greenwood whether he's playing on the right or centrally. I'm not too keen on Greenwood on the left. I'm sure we've played him on the left before. Cavani, he's made an impact since he's come in. He's not available at the moment. You know, Cavani's going to leave though after this season. Marcus Rashford, he's good when he wants to be. But he certainly enjoyed his bad periods at Man United and he's become injury prone, so that's a concern. Rashford's out until October with a shoulder injury. Don't forget Rashford decided to have surgery on his shoulder. When Rashford comes back, I've said we need to keep him on that left hand side because that's where he seems to be more effective. So there you go. And I reckon Man United have got the second best back four in the league. I think Liverpool's is first and then it's ours. But yeah, we do play Southampton on Sunday at St Mary's. It's our first away game of the Premier League season. I'm expecting Man United to win. I really do think Southampton are going to struggle this season. Obviously lost Danny Ings to Aston Villa in the summer. And definitely he was one of their key players. They also lost Bertrand to Leicester. They lost Vestergaard to Leicester. They've lost a lot of other good players as well of Southampton. You know, they lost Shaw to us back in 2014. Lost Charlie Austin. Lost Holberg to Tottenham. Lost Cedric Soares to Arsenal. Didn't lose Mario Lemina as well. Liverpool have done good business with Southampton in recent years. You know, Southampton lost Van Dijk to Liverpool quite a few years ago. They lost Klein. They lost Lallana. They lost Dejan Lovren. They lost Sadio Mane. So, there you go. We've got a good record against Southampton. Southampton seldom beat us. The last time Southampton beat us was back in January 2016. At Old Trafford, they beat us 1-0. Southampton lost their opening game against Everton 3-1. They made a few signings this summer though, haven't they? They brought Adam Armstrong in. They brought Valentino Livramento in. They brought Romain Perraudin. They brought Armando Broja in. Obviously they got Theo Walcott back. Southampton did have Mina Mima on loan, but now he's gone back to Liverpool. So there you go. But, you know, on paper we should win our next 4 games. Should beat Southampton. Should beat Southampton Wolves. Then we should beat Newcastle and we should beat West Ham. But Man United are top of the Premier League at the moment. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel if you do consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.